With the critically acclaimed 10 worst animated moments of Dragon Ball Super's Battle of Gods arc in the books, it seems only fitting I take on the next arc in the series. Now, before fiery pitchforks are thrown at my person, please know that this is made in a light-hearted manner for fun. I love this series, and just because someone criticizes something doesn't mean that they are, and I despise these terms, being a hater or hating. To say I am such for sharing my opinions about a show that I love is just ridiculous. Tons of YouTubers have made so many videos discussing the animation of Super in such a serious way, so let's have some fun with this one and laugh at some funny pictures instead. Oh my god, that's rancid! Make it stop, please! Make it stop! Whew. Okay, here we go. I present to you the 10 worst animated moments of Dragon Ball Super's Resurrection of F arc. The show is shit. I'm kidding. Number 10. Goku's chubby bunny. Admittedly, this is a small gripe. Perhaps this pickiness is indicative of a perfectly animated arc. But seriously, when I make these lists, I don't go through each episode frame by frame. That would be unfair. I watch it through once, picking out moments that stand out to me. And this definitely stood out to me. The closing moments of the battle between Goku and Frieza had Goku looking like he had a mouthful of sweets. I've noticed it before at different times in the series, but at a pivotal moment like this, it's kind of hard to forgive. Then again, a mouthful of food isn't exactly out of Goku's character either. Nah, I'll allow it. Number 9. Tien Shinhan. Guys, what the hell is happening? First Krillin, now Tien. Dude at one point looked more swole than Goku's cheeks. A man who once had boulders for shoulders, seeing him in this state is almost worrying. Now he kinda looks like the middle evolution from Chaozu to Tien Shinhan. I shall name him Chensu, and none shall rival him. Number 8. Goku's weird hand. If you guys thought we were going to have a list void of any hand slip-ups, then you were mistaken. Now, I know people fight or play sports ball, end up damaging their hands, causing them to look less than normal. But this is just ridiculous. If you can contort your hand to look like this, I'll renounce my statements and call this the best moment. You have my word. Number 7. Frieza blows up planet. This one actually really annoyed me. Not just because it's not animated well, but more so because up until this point, the arc was pretty much solid. Take this moment out and episodes 15 through 22 would be perfectly fine. It had a nice streak going. In fact, by the time I got to episode 23, I was facing the very real possibility of not having any material for this video. Episode 19, however, provided us with this. We've seen Frieza as well as others destroy planets. Beerus had done it a bunch just a few episodes prior. It happens all the time. Point is, we know that this isn't what a world eradicating explosion looks like. It's like coming face to face with an enormous, intimidating beast, and then suddenly it shits itself. Sort of a letdown if you ask me, especially since they've done this so many times before. But I shan't dwell on it, it's a minor blemish on what was a really good streak for Super. Number 6. Goku and Frieza head clashes. As soon as this fight begins, you just know something is off. Coming off the back of the Resurrection of F movie, there is a lack of weight to everything that's happening. And I don't mean that in the emotional investment or consequence sort of way. I mean the characters don't look like they have any weight with their punches. This head-on-head collision is a prime example of what I mean. There is no give or change to any part of the characters. And this is because it's just one drawing, which they have refused to alter and is moved across the screen through tweening. No new drawings means it looks phony as hell. People notice the difference between this and this. One looks like it makes contact and the other doesn't. It might not bother some people, but it really bothered me. Number 5. Shit fighting. You'd think that an anime about punching and kicking would at the very least have well orchestrated fight scenes. Well, this little nugget, taken directly out of episode 24, we see base form Goku going toe to toe with. What the fuck is even happening? Oh look, he did the childish eye poke thing. And look, it's raining cherries. Good job, Vegeta! Look, I got a little bit more to talk about on this subject, but I'm going to touch on it in a little later. Just know there's going to be a whole lot more of this stuff going on. Number 4. Frieza's punch to Goku does nothing. I don't know about you guys, but I thought the Resurrection of F movie was much better than I anticipated it to be. Usually, when a villain returns for one last hurrah, it's forced and, well, it's pretty shitty. But that story had just enough twists and turns to keep me invested throughout, and it had some of Goku's most badass moments ever. This was my favorite scene, and he did the little Bruce Lee hand punch thing. It's so fucking awesome! In the series, this moment, while trying to accomplish the same thing, felt extremely flat. Again, it all boils down to those punches not feeling like they have any weight behind them at all. It looks like a couple of 2D images dancing around in separate planes of existence, unable to touch one another. Animation is an illusion, and this fails miserably. In short, they probably could have benefited from just copying and pasting the stuff from the movie. Probably would have had less backlash. Number 3. Togama's death. I've heard this scene being praised online. And holy shit, if I hear any of you are praising this scene, I will fucking find you and I will politely argue my point to you. Vegeta has had moments like this before. Moments that showcase Vegeta's ruthless side. We've seen it before. Nappa, Kui, Dodoria, Zarbon, most of the Ginyu Force. Well, I guess all the Ginyu Force. Because Togama is Ginyu, and Ginyu is now Togama.
Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is Einhorn! Einhorn is a man! Oh my god!
In this, he just raises his arm. And it wasn't even fast! It was slow as shit! Like an elderly woman hailing a fucking cab. There was nothing to this. It was just a nothing scene. It just left me scratching my head thinking, wow, Togama's a bitch! And not that Vegeta was a badass, which is what I think they were trying to go for. I mean, let's be real. Togama had like a century to move there. This is a guy who was facing Frieza, training with him, being his punching bag for 4 months in a row. And all of a sudden, what, I'm supposed to believe that he's just paralyzed with fear. Because that's the only thing that enters the realm of being a rational thought here. I don't know. Vegeta, just... fuck. Number 2. Gohan, power up. Woo-hoo! Looks like the Gohan Express is pulling into the station for another outstanding Gohan moment. And boy, that Gohan sure is standing outside. Looking about as intimidating as a wheelchair-bound puppy that's dead, Gohan has ditched the orange gi in favor of this little green number that makes him look like just the biggest Eastern European scumbag. The one saving grace for this scene is that I know this is the prime location for a Team 4-star dodge joke. Who needs this? When we have this monstrosity! Gohan, don't stop changing, bro. Number 1. Goku versus Frieza. To some, this might be a bit of a cop-out, but as a Dragon Ball fight, this for me ranks among the worst. And I'm sure many of you will agree. While it did have brief moments of brilliance, it was overshadowed by extremely dull and unimaginative combat choreography. It honestly felt as though a kid storyboarded this fight. Scenes of energy blasts are a dime a dozen, featuring in episodes 24, 25, 26, and the final one, 27. Each one feeling like filler, and 90% of it looks like this. Motion tweens are my pet peeve when it comes to animation. Instead of drawing new frames, they just drag the same illustration across the screen. They also can downsize it to make it look like it's getting further away. Only problem is that it looks like fucking ass when it's done like this. Honestly, I found this fight frustrating to watch. As someone who stands behind what Super did in the Battle of Gods fight with Beerus, I have to say this one is hard to justify. The entire fight feels like they were just going through the motions waiting for the arc to end. Which is a shame because this arc had me in stitches laughing. It's such a funny arc. That scene where Goku asked Mr. Satan to punch him is now one of my favorite moments in all of Dragon Ball. I rarely can say that the best part of a Dragon Ball story is the filler, but damn, this was fucking amazing! Goku training with Vegeta, all that great comedy with Goku, and the hijinks with Jocko made this filler a joy to watch. So while 90% of this list is comprised of 4 bad episodes, I thought 9 from this arc were golden. Don't believe me? Check it out for yourself. Just make sure to fast forward the Frieza part. I've been Totally Not Mark, and this has been the 10 worst animated moments of Dragon Ball Super's Resurrection of F arc. Thank you so much for watching.